Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on transforming client communication with Yulio. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the client success specialists here at Yulio, and I'll be hosting today's session. So our main objective for today's webinar is to go over how you can share, showcase, and present your VR projects using a variety of tools and features available directly within your Yulio account. This training will cover a lot of information, so if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to enter them in the question box and I will answer them during the Q&A period at the end of our session. My contact details are also on screen now, so if you'd like to follow up on today's webinar with a walkthrough of anything we did or didn't cover today, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to set that up with you. Finally, if you do have to leave today's session early, I am recording the full webinar and we'll be sending that to all registrants a little bit later, so you can always watch it back and share it with your team as well. So here's our agenda for today's webinar. I'll start off by going over some options for sharing your projects internally across teams. Then I'll go over some ways Yulio enables you to easily share your projects with clients. Next, we'll get into how to access and review your project analytics, and we'll wrap up with a collaborate session. And of course, I'll leave some time at the end of the webinar to answer any questions that might have come up. So the first topic that we're going to cover today is internal sharing. So the goal here is to show you how you can share your Yulio projects and work collaboratively with your colleagues across teams, particularly if you have a Yulio account with multiple team members connected to it. So I'm just going to go into my account to get started. So if you're new to Yulio, the page we're on right now is what we call the projects page. This is where you can create a new project and where all of the projects on your account are stored. So Yulio offers a folder system to help you keep your projects organized. If you look to the left of my screen, you can see all of the folders I've created. If you have more than one team member connected to your company's Yulio account, folders are an especially great tool for collaborating and sharing projects amongst each other. So Yulio offers two different types of folders. We have public folders and private folders. Your private folders are solid black, so they're all of these folders here. They can help you control access to projects as well as protect your work from accidental edits or deletions. So any private folders in your account that you create are visible to you, any team member that you select to give access to, and anyone listed as an admin on your account. So to create a new folder, you would just click on this Create New Folder button, and you can title your folder here and select Create. Once it's created, it will appear at the bottom of your list. By default, all new folders that you create are created as private folders. You can click and drag on your folder to reorder it or move it as a subfolder under any other folder in your account. If your Yulio account has multiple team members connected to it and you want to share your private folder with everyone, you can simply drag it under your team folder, and this will make it a public folder under team. Yulio also offers the option to give only select team members access to your private folder. So if I just drag it down back to the bottom of my list, it's now a private folder again, and I can, once I click on the folder, I can click on these three dots here and then select permission from the drop-down. And then from here, I can choose only a select number of team members to add to this folder. Now for public folders. So as I just mentioned, your team folder at the top here is public by default. So adding projects to this folder or adding subfolders under team is a simple way to give access to and share projects with everyone on your account. It's also great for collaborating because anyone on the account will be able to edit and update the projects within these folders. So something else that you can do is move single projects around to new folders. For example, if you have a project in one of your private folders that you want to make public to your team, but maybe you don't want to share the entire folder with your team, you can just move the project to a public folder. So to do this, you can open up one of your private folders and then select which project you want to move. And then once you know which project you want to move, you can select the three dots here. And then from the drop down, you would click on Move. And from here, you can choose to move it to any folder in your account, or in this case, one of your public folders. Now, in a scenario where you want to move the project, but you don't want to potentially affect the original copy, so maybe you don't want, you worry about someone making any edits or accidentally deleting the project, you can make a duplicate of the project first and then move that copied version over to the public folder. So to do this, you would just go back to that folder again. Again, click on the three dots for the project that you want to move. And this time you would select duplicate. And then when you do this, it will create an exact duplicate of your project with all of the hotspots included. And it will show up as a copied project in the same folder. And then from here, it's still loading, but from here you would again be able to select those three dots and then just move the copied version over to that other folder. And then you don't have to worry about the original copy being altered in any way. All right, so that covers our bases for sharing projects with internal team members. So now let's get into some of the different ways you can share your projects externally with clients or maybe even other colleagues outside of your Yulio account. So I'm going to start off by opening one of my projects here. So when I open my project, this takes you to your project edit page. From here, you'll see 4 tabs at the top of this page. We have Assets, which we're in now, Markups, which includes your markup report. I'll click on it here to show you. So any markups you add to your project will be saved here. I'll go over project markups later during our Collaborate session, so just keep this in mind. Next, we have the Share tab and then Analytics, which I'm also going to go over later. So here's our Share tab. Within this tab is where you'll find most of your external sharing options. So the first thing you'll notice is your project URL. Each project that you create with Yulio will generate its own unique URL, and you can come here to copy the link and share it externally anywhere you might share a regular URL. On the left side of your URL, we have a tab that allows you to adjust the starting scene to which your project opens. So this is helpful if you want your client maybe to look at a specific scene in your project without having to move through all the other scenes to get to it. So when you change the default starting scene and you share the link, it will open up to that starting scene that you choose. On the right side of the URL, you'll see a few more sharing options. The first icon here allows you to open your project's unique QR code that you can download and share. The QR code is a great tool to use at an event or a trade show. You can include it in a presentation deck or have it on display at your booth, and anyone with a smartphone can scan that code to view the project right from their phone. The next icon we have is text sharing, which allows you to share the link to your project via text message. So when your client opens that link on their phone, they will be able to view the project in browser mode directly from their device. Next, we have the embed embed project icon. So this button allows you to embed your project directly on your website. This is great for showcasing a portfolio of your projects on one of your web pages. If you're not familiar with how to embed content on your website, we suggest getting in touch with your marketing or IT team to help you. There are some settings here that you can adjust, which determine how your project will look and perform once it's embedded. So you can adjust the size, and then these viewer controls here allow you to turn on or off controls that the viewer has, such as moving from scene to scene and sharing. If you're interested, we do have a knowledge base article that goes into more detail about these settings. So if this is something that you want to add to your website, you can refer to that article anytime from our knowledge base. And you can easily access the knowledge base anytime just by clicking on this resources tab at the top of your page and then selecting knowledge base from the drop down menu. And just so you can get an idea of what an embedded project might look like if you haven't seen one, here is an example on our website of an embedded Yulio project. So pretty much is just that browser mode experience, and your viewer can view the project uh, as they normally would if they were had opened the project on a link on their with a link on their browser. So that is that. And then the last icon we have, oh, sorry, the next one is just a copy button for you to easily copy the URL. And then this final icon here allows you to share the project directly to a few different social media platforms as well as email. So it's just a quick way to share your project to any of those outlets. So on top of these tools here, another way to share one project or a collection of projects is using our client galleries feature. So you can access client galleries from the resources tab and then client galleries. So client galleries allows you to create a collection of up to 20 projects to share directly with your client, or you can create a curated gallery of projects for a VR presentation at an upcoming event or meeting. So to start with client galleries, like I said, you'll click on that resources tab at the top of your page and then select client galleries from the drop-down menu. If you don't have any galleries set up, you just click on create a gallery. And then here you'll see two different gallery options, individual and event. And you can create an unlimited number of either galleries. As I said before, individual gallery allows you to create and share a portfolio of projects directly with your client. It provides them with a place to log in, view their gallery, and connect a headset. This is a great way to share a collection of projects with a client without having to send them multiple project links. You can update your client's gallery at any time, and those updates are reflected immediately for your client, so it's a convenient way to keep things organized. On top of this, if your client has a MetaQuest headset, they can connect their VR headset to the gallery, and any projects uploaded to the gallery will be sent right to their headset. An event gallery allows you to create a gallery again of up to 20 projects for an upcoming meeting or event. This would be a great tool to help you manage which projects are showcased on your headset before heading into an event where you might want to not showcase all the projects that are currently in your generic headset gallery. So let's say you wanted to create an individual gallery for a client. You would just select this create individual gallery button. And then from here, you'll just enter their name and their email. Next, you would be prompted to add any of the projects that you want to their gallery, and then you would just save the gallery and send an invite. Once the gallery is created, your client can connect their own headset, or you can connect one for them on your end. And I'm just going to return to my slides to show you an example of what a client gallery might look like. Oops, let me. So this is what your client will see on their end when they open up their client gallery. All right, I'm just going to return to my projects page again. And I'm going to click on my project that we've been working with. So now that you know how to share your projects, you might want to know how you can keep track of when and how they're being viewed. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. From our projects page, or this would be our edit project page, we're going to click on the analytics tab here. So we were just on the share tab. Now we're going to click on analytics. So on this page, you can see the data surrounding how, when, and where this specific project has been viewed, and it will break down that data by individual view. So at the top, we can see some more high-level data like total views, and average session length. And then when you scroll down, you can see some more detailed or individual viewer data, such as date and time it was viewed, approximate location, method of viewing, and so on. I haven't had many views on this project in the last couple of months, so you don't see much here, but I can adjust the time frame to see viewer analytics during the last 12 months, and I will have more insights available to me. So we have some quick filters here, like the last 7 days or the last 30 days. And then you can also go in here and select a custom time period. So that is how you can see the project analytics for a single project. Now, if you want a review of how all of your projects are performing, you can use our project traffic report tool. And this tool is located again under the resources tab. And then you're going to select project traffic report. So this shows you a report of viewer traffic across all VR projects in your account. And you can filter and sort your data based again on date, time, and or project to produce a custom report that includes only the data that you need. So you can you can filter all of your data and then export it to a CSV file. All right, so we are going to end our session today with a collaborate session. So you can click on the tab at the top of your page titled Collaborate to start a session. If you don't know, Collaborate is Yulio's best tool for presenting your projects to clients and colleagues. When you host a Collaborate session, everyone can meet in the same virtual space, and you can guide viewers around the space, see what others are seeing, and collect feedback. We see this feature used for in-person and remote meetings, and even at events. With Collaborate, all the guests that you're meeting with, whether in person or remote, can join from a VR headset or in browser mode. To launch a Collaborate session, you'll just click on Start Collaborating. As the host, you must launch a Collaborate session from your browser. You can't launch a session from a VR headset, so that's something to keep in mind. Next, you're going to select which project you'd like to host your session in. Something to note here before I do that is that if you have a headset connected to your Yulio account and you have projects uploaded to your headset gallery, when you start a Collaborate session, the first project in your headset gallery will auto-load by default. Right now, I have this setting turned off, which is why I'm going to select my project here manually. So I'll open up our office space. If you would like to do what I did and select your project manually each time, you'll want to turn that setting off like I have. So you can do this by opening or clicking on the settings tab here in Collaborate. And then you're going to turn off auto load first headset project. And then once you do this, that will save that setting as is for any future Collaborate sessions. All right, to add guests to your session, you would click on this person icon here with the plus sign. This is our Add Participants tab. So at this time, or sorry, If your guests are in a position where they can see the screen that we're looking at, what they can do is scan this QR code on their phone and join on their mobile device. They can also join from their desktop by going to live.yulio.com and entering this unique group code. So today's group code is PMHK. I'm going to invite today whoever wants to join this session to join on your mobile device. So you can either scan the QR code with your cell phone or your smartphone camera, or you can visit live.yulio.com and enter the group code. So again, that group code today is PMHK. And when a new guest joins, you'll be able to see their name pop up in the Participants tab, which is this tab here. So if you do join on your mobile device, what you can do is you can look at my screen to see what your perspective will be as you host sessions moving forward. And then what you would see on your mobile phone is what your guest's experience will look like. All right, so let's get started with our session. I'm going to click back on the Participants tab here. The first thing I want to point out is our new feature, and that is our live meeting tool. So that's this Start Chat button here. Live meeting is an integrated function that allows you to speak to and hear from your guests right within the Collaborate session, meaning you no longer have to use an external communication or meeting tool to chat with your guests and collaborate. What's great about this tool is that it works whether your guests are joining from a smartphone, desktop, tablet, or VR headset. To turn it on, you would just click on the Start Chat button, and you can start communicating in real time with your clients or colleagues. I'm going to leave it off today for the webinar, but it is a super simple tool to use, and it will really elevate your Collaborate sessions. If I were using it today, I would go ahead and turn it on now. If you want to learn a little bit more about live meeting, you can check out our knowledge base article that goes into more details. So if you go to our knowledge base and look up live meeting, you'll be able to learn more about it. Of course, you can also email me if you have any questions. So looking at my screen, as the host, there's two ways you can present your Collaborate session. We have present mode and explore mode. By default, all Collaborate sessions will open in present mode, and we recommend starting off in this mode just because it gives you as the host the control to guide your viewers through the experience and direct your viewers' attention to certain areas in a scene. In this mode, only the host can activate hotspots and move to new scenes. Before we start looking around, an important thing to note is that while in present mode, your guest screens will not be following your gaze exactly. So if you join the session, you'll notice that we're in the same scene, but as I look around, the view on your phone does not follow. That said, as the host, I can direct my guest's attention to a certain area at any time using the spotlight feature. And that's this button at the top that looks like a flashlight. So let's say I wanted to direct everyone's attention over to this table. I would move my gaze to the table and then select the spotlight tool. If you join the session, you should see that your gaze was redirected to match mine. From here, I'm just going to open up my floor plan. This is if there's a floor plan included in the project, you can open it by clicking on this map icon at the bottom of your screen. From here, we can see all these different location markers, which reflect the various scenes in my project. So if well, right now we can see where we're standing because the location marker is highlighted blue. And if I wanted to move to a new scene from here, I can just click on one of these markers. So as you can see, if you join the session, you should have moved into a new scene with me, and we're viewing the space from a new location. So If we look around, here we notice a video hotspot that we can open up and view. If I turn around here, we have a text hotspot, and if I open that up, you should see it on your screen as well if you joined. Now I'm just going to go over some of the host controls that you have available at the top of your screen. So the first is the scene list icon. So this allows you to easily switch scenes within your project. Next, we have the select project icon, and that allows you to switch to a new project entirely. Of course, we have the spotlight button, which I already highlighted. And next to that, we have the markup tool. So the markup tool is available for you to mark up your projects while viewing in browser mode or during a collaborate session, which we are obviously in now. So you can't use the feature while wearing a headset. This is a great tool for recording client feedback during your collaborate sessions. So if I click on the pencil, as I've done, you'll notice that I have a few options for marking up my project. I can click on this pen tool to draw on the project and highlight certain things. I can also click on the text comment tool, and that will allow me to write notes here. And then if you join the session, you'll see that when the host uses the markup tool, the participants will see those markups on their screen as well. And all these markups are recorded in the project's markup report, which I pointed to earlier on the project edit page. So you can go to that report later and see all of your markups saved from your collaborate session. My final note about present mode is that you can give presenter privileges to a guest at any time. So to do this, you would just click on their name in the participants tab. So I'll go ahead and click on John. And from here, I can see exactly what John is looking at. And they can also click on any hotspots as well. And we'll move to that scene as well. They can also open hotspots on their end as well. As the host, I can take back presenter mode at any time just by clicking on my name. And now I'm going to go over explore mode. So in this mode, all guests can explore the project freely, including activating hotspots and navigating to new scenes. So during this time, explore mode will gaze through each guest view every 10 to 15 seconds so you can see what all your guests are looking at and where they're exploring. Again, if you're in explore mode and you want to take back control, you can just click on present again. Okay, so now I'm going to just end our collaborate session and I will return to my slides, and that will wrap up our webinar today. So I know that was a lot of information to take in a short amount of time, but I hope you were able to learn more about Yulio's sharing and collaboration tools. So thank you all for joining me today. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can submit them in the question box now, and I will stick around for the next couple of minutes to answer those. As a reminder, if you do want to book an additional training session with me on anything we covered today or didn't cover, my email is up on the screen, so please feel free to reach out, and I'll happily work with you to set up a time for us to meet. Of course, you can also email me at any time if you have any questions that pop up later. So thank you again for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.